Hello, welcome back to your annual BR season spreadsheet video, but not annual because that means yearly and we get more seasons than once a year. But I want to talk about the new values. So if you don't know what's going on here, you can play Save the World. I'd show you the menu, but can't because the servers aren't online. So if you go to any of my channels, you guys can see the menus there. You can run Save the World missions, complete them, and get Battle Pass XP. So I used to have like gameplay in these videos for the different missions, but I have to make this video so often that I've stopped editing them. But suffice it to say, all the different missions are in here, and they're pretty good for XP. You know, like retrieve the data. You shoot down the balloon, comes down, quick mission, and then you cat 4. You got defend 1 Atlas, basically the tutorial mission. All that stuff can give you Battle Pass XP. And this spreadsheet, this calculator even, shows you which ones give you the most. This one at the top is the best. Kind of, but not really. Stay tuned for why. And let's get into kind of all the questions everybody has. So I added a new daily XP cap here just because this changes every season with the length of the Battle Royale season. They don't want Save the World to be your primary source of XP for BR. A lot of people like myself ended up finishing the Battle Pass just from playing Save the World, and that's super normal. And it gets a little easy to get XP in Save the World, a little ridiculous. A free 480k a day, not free, but very easy to obtain 480k a day is not something they want competing with BR for whatever reason. And I updated this for what season it is. Season 4 of Chapter 3 ends December 4th, if you're curious of when the season will be over. So that answers a question somebody already had where Fortnite ends, or at least it becomes available November 10th or around there. So there will be a short period of time where you can actually run Fortnite to get XP. I also updated Hit the Road, even though that quest is not available and will not be, and it's also the worst one on the list, so it's not really something you should worry about. So the data that I'm using was provided via Archer. He went through all the files every season. He's a big leaker. He just is a super big nerd, and I guess I am too, because I skimmed through every one of these values and I went through and punched in all the data just for you. And something that is new on this spreadsheet as compared to my older one, you can see my older one is shorter, smaller, cuter. I added the XP bonuses because what I was doing in those videos was I was putting the total XP amount assuming you got all of the badges. So what that might mean is Inferno is a great example. So each floor you get XP for completing each floor, and then you get one big bonus at the end. Either I looked at it wrong or there wasn't a bonus for Crips. I'm not entirely sure. This might not be infallible because you can see that Inferno is quite low. For whatever reason, you're only getting 9,600 now. I triple checked that in here. I don't really know why. Maybe it's 19,000. They missed a 1. Speedrunning Inferno can be highly lucrative. It's one of the more popular videos on my channel. In fact, if you just go to Dungeon should be enough. Yeah, how to get candy and gold is a video on basically how to speedrun Inferno, and I'm not sure why they nerfed it intentionally or otherwise, but that's just kind of what it is. So I went through all of this, and then I added up all the base amount of XP and then all the bonuses. So ones like, let's see here, what's a good example? Ride the Lightning. You finish the mission, you get 39,100 if you complete it with as fast as you can, all the bonuses there. And then you get 4,600 for wave 1, 6,900, nice, for wave 2, and then your sum total is whatever these two are combined. But you also can get badges. So there are badges for exploring all of the map, combat, utility, which is like breaking buildings and or crafting, and then one more that I'm forgetting. Is it crafting? No, that's not the same thing as whatever. There are 4 badges. I don't even keep track of them anymore. They can total 8,400 because you are getting 2,100 apiece. I maxed out the badges assuming you're doing all of the things, which if you trap it well, if you're just farming XP in a low mission, by the way, the XP does not matter based on the power level of the mission. I always forget to mention that, but that's why it's not listed anywhere in here. You can run a category 1 in the higher zones in Twine, power level 100 zones, or Stonewood. It's still going to give the same amount of XP. So what I figure is you can set up a defense, or if you're running this with a team, you can do that, and then just run around the map doing all the things with all the badges. But there are certain missions like Inferno where you're really not getting all of the badges. Like I don't think you can explore all of the map, and I'm not sure about combat. So there are certain ones where it's kind of notched down. This is guesswork, where I'm not totally certain. Like Endurance, you might get the combat badge, but I think I've been told that you can't get XP. If I'm wrong, comment down below. It shouldn't matter too much because the badges aren't super impactful. And then some missions you can get a speedrun bonus, like I mentioned with Ride the Lightning. If you finish it as fast as possible, you get 5,500. And this number does scale down based on how slow you are, but I'm just trying to show the optimal missions because these aren't exactly perfect real world, and I'll get into that in a second here. So I guess that's actually the next thing I had on my to talk about list. So these can't really be real world because of the time to complete. These are guesstimations. I've ran like some 7,000 or 8,000 missions, I think, so I do do tend to know how long these missions take, but you might go faster, you might go slower, and that's where there's a lot of variance in here. Like, Deliver the Bomb is always my favorite one to pick on because those tracks are very buggy as of late. So this mission could easily take you 20 minutes. Or it could take you 10 if they're right next to each other. And there's a lot of variations. You know, they're like the Cat 4. I'm being very optimistic thinking you could start this in 9 minutes because the defense is 8 minutes long minimum. And then 1 minute is all you get to spawn in, get the blue glow, start the mission, go. That might not happen. Practically speaking, this might be a 10 or 11 minute mission, but I'm imagining you're running this in the lowest level zone you can, going as fast as you possibly can, and that's where 9 minutes is what I can figure. But then there's also question mark factors. You know, whether or not you're running console or PC, who all is in your group. I think running with 4 people should be the best for speedrunning because you'd get more hands on deck, but there might be some load times in there. And for a long time, there was a fail to lock profile bug where in dungeons, if you loaded in right away, you'd have to wait like 2 minutes flat. It was brutal. Kind of sucked, but they kind of removed that, so maybe it's a little faster now. There's just a lot that I cannot account for, so that's why I have it set up the way it is. If you are looking to use a spreadsheet and you're looking to maximize how much XP you can get, you can change these values to whatever you and or your team is running and have a go. So yeah, and then the XP per minute literally just takes the total XP divided by it. I even got this cute little math in here, very nice to use. So if you do end up making a copy of this, which is just a file, make a copy, you can just punch in whatever values. If the new seasons are here and I'm not updating this anymore for some reason, then you can punch in the new values and it's nice and easy. And at the end here, I'm going to take a second just to talk about how nerdy happy I am about this, because this is not for you. This is nice to lay it out to the viewer. That's how I'm selling this. It's nice to lay out what the bonuses are so that I'm a little bit more transparent with these numbers. But in reality, what used to happen was I would take in the new value. I'd be like, okay, all right, Cat 1 is whatever, 31,800, whatever the number was. And then I'd add up all of the individual bonuses. Then I'd get a sum number. Then I'd put it in here. And I had to do that for every single one. And it broke my brain every time I updated this spreadsheet. So I took some liberties. I took the total XP over here. This just combines all of these sections and saves me a lot of time. That will make this it's literally broken down to just finding the number. Yeah, I don't even need a point. I can show you. Finding the number over here, punch it into the spreadsheet, and then it does all the math for me, which is great, which is really, really great. In fact, I used to do all this by hand. So if I got a number wrong, like some people can do Rescue the Survivors a little bit quicker. If you say, Beast, 8 minutes is nothing. My team and I, we're doing it in 5. You can just do that, and then boom, gives you a new number. Now you're getting 8,000 XP per minute instead of 5. It's pretty cool, pretty slick. I think 8 is pretty fair for Rescue the Survivors, though, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah. Enjoy all your XP. I don't think I've missed any of my talking points, so I think we're good. Sorry about like the lack of gameplay and stuff, but like I said, I have to remake this video every 3 months, and it's just a quick information dump, and I know a lot of you are just looking at that upper left number and then clicking off anyway, so figured I'd just share what I could and do what I can. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll update you next season, and yeah, I'll see you then.